Now, after the win in New Hampshire by Bernie Sanders, Hillary Clinton's supporters are starting to fear a repeat of 2008. And they say it's time for a change. Now, this is, of course, from Politico. They say that Hillary Clinton has to find her way out of her poor messaging. Oh, they're thinking that it's her messaging that's the problem. It's the messaging. And that she hasn't provided a reason why voters should elect her to be president. Now, one of her supporters, who was a longtime supporter, said, quote, "I love her, but I still don't understand what her campaign is about. I don't know. What is your message? What is her message? I don't know." She doesn't really seem to have one, at least according to this supporter. And I think a lot of other people are trying to figure out, what exactly are you trying to fight for? You say you're fighting for us, but how? I guess you're fighting to keep, the Affordable Care Act. That's great. But we want to expand on it. And there's a lot of polling to suggest that people want it to be expanded, fixed and expanded, not just kept the same. And she is, to her credit, she said the same thing. Well, I would like to fix it, but without going into any specifics. Now, some results or some supporters, according to this article, are appearing to be nearing a stage of panic. Quote, "Something needs to happen. How they let a guy who was so far behind in the polls a few months ago come so close to winning and killing her in New Hampshire is crazy to me," says one supporter. And people who have actually talked to Hillary and Bill Clinton agree that messaging has been part of the problem. So it's the message, right? The longtime supporter says, "If I had to take stock, I'd say it's a big, if not the biggest problem facing the campaign." Democratic strategists and consultants say that while a bumper sticker message or slogan can feel overrated, it can add some much-needed direction to her campaign. Quote, "She has not laid out a compelling vision for where she wants to take the country." This is according to Jamal Simmons, who is a Democratic strategist that served on Al Gore's campaign. Quote, "She has put forth some legislative priorities, and she may know how all these pieces come together, but voters don't." So right there, lack of a vision. She has not laid out a compelling vision of what she's going to do if you elect her. It's basically, elect me, and I'll stop the Republicans. Well, we don't want to just stop the Republicans. We actually want to move the country forward. And so she doesn't have a vision. And that's the difference. Her pragmatism does not inspire people. She wants little change. She wants to conserve the status quo, preserve President Obama's legacy. That means essentially we're going to get 5% change. Bernie Sanders is the opposite. He says, look, political revolution. Did I stutter, motherfuckers? I said political revolution. Jump on. And Americans, look, they want that. There is that poll. Over 54% of Americans polled are open to the idea of a political revolution to redistribute wealth from the rich to the middle class. That's a majority of Americans that say, yes, political revolution. I want to take money from the rich that they've taken from us over 30 years and give it back to the middle class. Hillary Clinton does not have that message. And that's the thing. Now, what Clinton has been doing is that she's been trying to say, look, I'm a woman. I think that's obvious. My campaign will be historic. As the first woman president, I would, shatter the glass ceiling. And that's true. And that's true, right? However, using that as a reason to get elected, like, hey, I'm a woman, it'll be historic, trust me. Well, it's not exactly a compelling reason. I mean, for a lot of people, it can be. For Gloria Steinem, Madeleine Albright, feminists who are the older generation, that does resonate. And it makes sense. And a lot of us who don't support Clinton like the idea of a woman president. We're like, yes, we'd love a woman president, just not Hillary Clinton, because we don't think that she represents the priorities of most Americans and people like me. Would it be historic? Yeah, sure. But what we want is we want political change. Those same people who don't back Hillary Clinton and back Bernie Sanders would also back Elizabeth Warren. Gender has nothing to do with this. And that's where Hillary Clinton misses the mark. It's not been effective. In fact, younger women, I pointed out, like 84% of younger women line up behind Senator Sanders, not Hillary Clinton. That message does not resonate. Now, among other women, 55% of women supported Senator Sanders in New Hampshire, compared to 44%. And this is women overall, of all age groups. A majority, 55%, supported Senator Sanders. One ally said, when she is having a problem capturing women, there's a problem. I think it's time for a bit of a reboot. What is she, Marco Rubio? How many times can she be rebooted? That's the thing. How many times can she change her campaign persona? See, this is the problem with her. This is why people don't trust her. This is why she seems like she comes off dishonest. Because we don't know where her heart is. We don't know where she stands. Because she finds the issue and says, okay, this has been pulled in focus group. This is what I should do. And it's not her fault that she's doing that. It's a strategy that worked very well for Bill Clinton. He was a very popular president because he saw where the political winds were shifting. And he said, that way. I will do that. That sounds good. Raise the minimum wage, we can do that. Why? Because it's super popular. Unfortunately, a lot of Americans, they're not falling for that anymore. So, and another reason that she comes off as dishonest is because, let's be honest, she's managed by political consultants and focus groups. She's not being Hillary Clinton. And a lot of people who are close to her say that, no, she's warm, she's super friendly, she's, you can relate to her, you can talk to her, it's a great conversation. I have no doubt that that's who the real Hillary Clinton is. But you don't get that on the campaign. And she's inauthentic because she's focus grouped. She is a politician. While Bernie Sanders is Bernie Sanders. He is Bernie Sanders. You see what you see is what you get. But when it comes to Hillary Clinton, a lot of people ask, well, who is the real Hillary Clinton? Will the real Hillary Clinton please stand up? But not everybody agrees that's the message, right? Kristen Lahan, a Democratic strategist who served as a senior advisor to Ready for Hillary, which is a super PAC that was created to draft Hillary Clinton, said that, well, I don't see a broad messaging problem. Messaging problem? Not there. What are you talking about? We have a great message. Really? So you don't think that you have a messaging problem? Remember, this is a Democratic strategist. This guy's an insider. Those are the people that are disconnected from the process. They don't understand why Hillary Clinton is not interesting to a lot of people, right? Where people are just not interested. These insiders are like, I don't understand. She's a woman and she's a Clinton. Why didn't you like her? Why aren't you guys voting for her? Look, she's got experience. Yeah, that's great. Experience is great. The fact that she's a woman, okay, that's good, right? Whatever. We want to go with Bernie Sanders because he actually wants to do something. Political revolution. And these consultant guys are like, well, yeah, I mean, sure, she takes money from the banks. I mean, that's been a criticism from Bernie Sanders, right? But who cares? We all take it from the banks. Remember, she shrugged off the speaking fees from Goldman Sachs. Well, that's what they offered. That's what they offered. I don't think it's wrong at all. Money in politics? What are you talking about? It hasn't influenced my vote. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. Of course, New Hampshire, she changed her tune. The money? Does the money have influence? It sure does. But they're scratching their heads. Why don't you like her? Why don't you like her? Well, it's because we care about things like taking money from the banks. We care. Those political consultants are schmucks. They don't know what regular people care about. They know what they care about, and they know what people in the bubble and the establishment care about. Not us. We care. As American citizens, we do not want another leader that is beholden to corporations. And we do not want another standard politician. Not this time. Like in any other election, any other time, Hillary Clinton would actually be a really good candidate. The preferred candidate. But see, things are different. And there are two different worldviews that are clashing against each other. And one is that the system is broken, and that's the way it is. It can't be fixed. It's too powerful. It's entrenched. Why are we fighting against it, right? Take what progress you have and defend it. Because if you don't, if you try to change things too fast, the pendulum's going to come back and it's going to get taken away from you. Don't push too hard. Play it safe. Keep the status quo. Keep what little progress you have. And try to build on it incrementally. The other worldview is that no, we can change the system. We can change this corruption. We can get rid of it. We can unrig it for the majority of Americans. But only if we all get together and only if we all work together to get that change. To work for it. Those are the different worldviews. And Hillary Clinton is the first one. And here's the thing, right? A lot of people now share in the second worldview, where the system is rigged, but we can fix it. Look, 20 years ago, Bernie Sanders would probably not have had a chance to win because people didn't see that corruption in the system. So a Clinton or a politician like her or Bill Clinton could and had actually won. I mean, Bill was finishing up his second term 20 years ago. But see, the political landscape is different. People are disillusioned by the system, by politicians. They hate politicians. They hate politics as usual. They don't want it anymore. They hate the fakeness. They hate the focus group, tested lines. They hate all of it. They're looking for authenticity. And when it comes to being authentic, you can't get more authentic than Bernie Sanders. And for the Clinton camp, well, as far as they're concerned, they have no idea how to contend with the idea of a political revolution. Hillary Clinton's a politician out of time. It's the wrong time, man. Because she's doing things the old way. And in this election, the old way just isn't working.